If you save money every month, follow the rules, avoid stupid spending, and still feel like you're running in place, don't click away yet. Because what I'm about to say sounds illegal in a personal finance book, but it might explain why your savings account looks busy and your life doesn't. The uncomfortable truth is this: saving money, the way we've been taught, may quietly be making you poorer. Now, before the finance police show up at the door, let's be clear. Saving is not evil. It's just misunderstood. And in today's world, misunderstood things can hurt you while smiling politely. Because here's the strange part. You're doing the right thing, but the math behind the system has changed, and nobody sent a memo. Think about this. You work, you earn, you save, you feel responsible, you feel mature, you feel like future you will send you a thank you note. But meanwhile, prices are rising like they're late for a meeting, and your savings are sitting there, behaving, too well behaved, obedient, motionless, like a very polite guest who eats nothing and contributes nothing. Every year, inflation quietly taps your savings on the shoulder and says, "You'll be taking a little bit of this." Not dramatically, not rudely, just enough that you don't notice at first. It's not a robbery. It's a subscription fee for existing in the modern economy. And here's the absurd part. You don't feel poorer. You feel responsible, which is worse. Let's say you save $1,000. You feel proud. You screenshot it. You consider telling someone, then decide not to because humility is part of the brand. But a year later, that same $1,000 buys less food, less rent, less fuel, less peace of mind. Your money didn't disappear. It just lost weight. Quietly. No gym membership required. This is the part nobody explains clearly. Money is not just a number. It's purchasing power. And purchasing power leaks. Constantly. Silently. Like air from a tire you didn't know was punctured. You keep pumping more air in, wondering why the ride still feels rough. We were taught that saving equals safety. That if you just pile money into an account, stability magically appears. But that advice was born in a different world. A slower world. A world where inflation behaved itself and money had some respect for time. Today, money has attention problems. If it sits still too long, it decays. And no, this isn't one of those just invest everything and relax speeches. That's a different illusion. This is about understanding the weird middle ground where saving is necessary, but blind saving is dangerous. Because the real problem isn't that you're saving. It's that you're saving without a strategy that acknowledges reality. Reality is this: the system rewards movement, not stillness. Wages lag behind prices. Assets inflate faster than salaries. And cash, sitting still, slowly becomes yesterday's solution to today's problem. This is why people feel like they're working harder but falling behind. It's not laziness. It's math. Bad math, from your perspective. Excellent math, from the systems. Let's lightly mock this for a second, because if we don't laugh, we might scream. Imagine telling someone, "Yes, I did everything right. I avoided debt. I saved diligently. I was disciplined. And now I can afford less." It sounds like a joke, but it's happening everywhere. Saving feels productive because it's visible. You can watch the number grow. It gives you dopamine without requiring risk. But growth in numbers is not growth in value. And that's the trick. The system lets you feel progress while quietly moving the finish line. This is why older advice sounds confusing today. Just save 10% of your income. Okay, but what if the cost of living grows faster than your income? Then you're saving harder just to stay still. It's like walking up a down escalator while being congratulated for your posture. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. The system doesn't really want you financially independent. It wants you functional, predictable, paying bills, making payments, saving just enough to feel safe, but not enough to feel free. Because a person who feels free asks different questions. So saving becomes a comfort blanket, not a solution. It protects you from emergencies, yes, but it doesn't protect you from slow erosion. And slow erosion is the most dangerous kind because it doesn't trigger panic. It triggers adaptation. You adapt to smaller expectations. You normalize delay. You tell yourself, maybe next year. And next year says the same thing. Again, Let's be clear. Not saving at all is chaos. That's a different disaster. But treating saving as the end goal is like training your whole life to stand still very responsibly. Money needs a job, a purpose, a reason to exist beyond sitting quietly in a digital box. Otherwise, it slowly turns into a memory of what it used to buy. This is where the piggy bank metaphor breaks. In cartoons, the piggy bank gets heavier, and that's good. In real life, the piggy bank gets heavier while the world around it gets more expensive. And suddenly, the pig isn't impressive anymore. It's just late. The uncomfortable truth is that saving alone is defensive. It protects you from falling backward. It doesn't move you forward. And in a system that constantly moves the goalposts, defense eventually feels like losing. That's why people who do everything right feel betrayed. They weren't irresponsible. They just trusted outdated instructions. And the system didn't correct them. It smiled. This isn't about blaming yourself. This is about realizing that money advice often survives long after the conditions that made it useful are gone. We still tell people to save like it's 1995, while living in an economy that behaves like it drank 3 energy drinks and forgot how time works. So what should saving actually be? A buffer, a tool, a temporary holding area, not a shrine, not a life strategy, not the finish line. Saving should buy you options, not illusions. It should reduce stress, not create a false sense of progress. If your savings make you feel safe but not stronger, something is missing. And that missing piece is understanding that money either moves with the system or gets moved by it. The irony is that the more disciplined you are, the easier it is to fall into this trap. You trust rules. You follow instructions. You delay gratification. And the reward you expect never quite arrives. Not because you failed, but because the system quietly changed the rules mid-game. This is why conversations about money feel tense now. People sense something is off, but they can't always articulate it. They feel gaslit by their bank balance. I have more money than before. So why does life feel tighter? That question alone should tell you something. Saving is not bad, but worshiping saving is dangerous. Because money that only sits still is slowly negotiating against you, and it has more patience than you do. The real shift is not stop saving. It's stop believing saving is enough. Stop confusing stability with progress. Stop measuring success by numbers that don't account for reality. Because in a world where costs rise quietly and systems move fast, standing still feels responsible. Right up until you realize you've been moving backward very politely. And once you see that, you can't unsee it.